Levi vlog. Welcome back. Here's a new face. This is Levi, my friend Levi.
Shalom, shalom.
From Levi Tours. He's actually already been in the vlog.
Discover Israel Tours.
I'm sorry.
It's
Discover
fine,
Israel. I'm talking about your Instagram name. Is that it?
Yeah. Tour Israel with Levi. Absolutely.
So I'll put his website and his Instagram and all the stuff in the description. Actually, Levi has already been on the vlog.
Wait until you hear what I have to say.
They're gonna love it. He's been on the vlog already. If you guys have noticed, he was in the Purim vlog because I was taking B-roll, and that's how we met. Because he was dressed like my friends were on Purim, and then we started talking, and then we figured out that we have mutual friends, and then the rest is history. And now we're here. Ta-da! Okay, Levi, what are we gonna do today?
So today we have something really exciting planned. We're gonna go look at the stories of the people inside of the old city. There are 4 major quarters inside the old city. We have the Armenian quarter, the Jewish quarter, the Christian quarter, and the Muslim quarter. We're going to go through each one of those quarters. We're going to see a little bit of the culture between the people, from the music to the smells to the things that they sell. We'll talk a little bit about their religion, and we'll ask them what it's like to live here in the old city. Should we talk a little about where we're standing right now?
Yes.
We're standing at this phenomenal entrance, what I call is the entrance to the New World, just outside of Jaffa Gate, which is also known as Bab al-Halil, which means Halil. Al-Halil is Chevron, leading to Chevron. We can see the mixture of different cultures that we have here. Across from us, we can see the sign of the road is called Umar ibn al-Hattab, which is referencing to the second caliph who comes to conquer the city in the year 638. So Muslims, they come here and they take over the old city. And just on the other side, we can see the Christian Information Center and the Swedish Christian Center. Both sites recognizing the Christian presence here in the old city. So just as we walk in, we can see the Islamic, we can see the Jewish presence, a very strong Jewish presence here, and we can see the Christian presence all inside of one square.
Guys, it's such a unique place. Like, the old city is literally just like this little atomic bomb of different people and places and so much beauty. And so we're gonna see it all today.
Yeah, we'll make sure it doesn't blow up.
Not today, Satan.
This was the first American embassy in Jerusalem in the 1800s, and this was the start of the movement to then make Jerusalem move out to West Jerusalem, starting with Doar, which is mail services, coming from here all the way into the international world, opening up into what we know as the modern city of Jerusalem today.
Levi, we're going down into the market. What quarter are we going into first?
So this is kind of separating between 2 quarters. We have the Armenian quarter on this side and the Christian quarter on this side. And in the middle, it's mainly Muslim-owned market. And today's Friday. You can notice that a lot of the shops are closed, even though you expect them to be open inside of this main tourist center. Friday is the holy day for Islam. It's the day when the Imam, he comes and he gives a speech about the day-to-day events that happen. There's a lack of tourism right now at the moment, so a lot of people don't feel the major need to wake up super early to open up their shops. But as we can see, the shops here are selling artifacts from all 3 religions. We'll see menorah, we'll see the masfaha, which are the beads, the Arabic beads, and also the Christians also have beads. We'll see candles and crosses and kippot and tzitzit, all inside of one shop here. So we have a kippah, and we have the finjan, and the masbaha.
Everything.
So we'll start with the Jewish quarter, then we'll move on to the Muslim quarter, and then we'll circle back to the Christian quarter, and finally the Armenian quarter. We'll be surprised if we'll see people walking the streets at all there. It's the most quiet quarter. The thing is about Jerusalem, every corner you turn, you'll find possibly a different religion, but also a different tribe settled in this area. So it's a different feeling. So from here and to a 10-minute walk from here can be a whole different scene, from the prayers, the language that the people speak, so on and so forth. God chose this place to settle. God chose right here. And this is why it's the spiritual capital of the world, a beacon of light to the nations that just draw people to it. When you're in the presence of Jerusalem, you could really feel that inside of your veins, just running, feeling this uplifting feeling. And it's hard to bring into words. It's one of those things that you have books and books on, but you need to feel it to actually understand it.
That is very true. I concur.
Just here on the left hand, just to look at a little bit of the history over here, you can see the Austrian bird here on the top. The question is, why is it like that? So this is the Crusaders market. We're going to walk a little bit and talk. Crusaders came here about 800 years ago, 900 years ago. 1099, they managed to capture the city, and they really start settling and building straight away. And they turn this whole region and they name it the Kingdom of Jerusalem. When they do so, we have different sects of crusades which come here. We have the Hospitallers, the Teutonic, So different orders which come here. So the Hospitallers are the ones who build this market that we see in front of us. And just like the name sounds, the Hospitallers build hospitals and hospitality. So both of these two essential places that they build here. Today the area is called the Muristan, which is like a hospital.
Guys, it's not actually that early, but you also have to understand in Israel, it's like things are open late to like 9, 10, you know, and then they open later.
We're going to go to Abu Kisli, who's been here also since 1947, and when he expressed to me that his shop completely failed for 19 years when this was under Jordanian control. Remember, tourism, they weren't here, it was just the local Arabs who were then, you know, forced under this Jordanian control, which, you know, they went somewhat hand in hand, but it was very new for them. There was no prosperous trade coming in and out. They were kind of isolated from the port city of Jaffa, so everything was changing. So from his imports to things where he gets, Abu Kisli hopefully will be open later, you'll see he actually imports from the whole world, and he has some of the freshest produce. And so those 19 years were really, really tough for him.
Wow, crazy. Where are we now?
So right now we're in another part of the Crusaders market, which we call this part the Crusaders Cardo. Now, Cardo is the major road going from north to south in every Roman city. Like the cardiovascular system, it's like the heartbeat of the place which then pumps through it. Jerusalem's a kind of place where every line, every stone has a history behind it, with people behind that history, and most likely an empire. So just on a side note, Jerusalem has had 100 battles, over 100 battles fought over this place. It's been captured and recaptured 44 times. It's been put under full siege 25 times and completely destroyed twice. So we can imagine just those cake layers of history that we're about to see. We're just side noting because I can't control myself while we're out here. We can see the original walls of Jerusalem here from the Hasmonean period, so 2,200 years ago. These were the mighty walls that protected the city of Jerusalem. You can just see the magnitude of the stones and the buildings, some larger, some smaller. Now, if we look in the corner over here, that dates back to the first temple period. We're talking about, correct. We're talking about King Hezekiah's time and Isaiah's times. And between 3,000 to 2,700 years ago, between that 300-400 year period, Jerusalem then establishes itself as a kingdom of Judea. Here's some beautiful Jewish art, really, really wonderful Jewish art that you can find inside of this Cardo. We're here today asking people what it's like to live in Jerusalem. So you live here in Jerusalem? Yes. You lived here a long time?
Yeah, many years now, 20 years. Yeah.
Why Jerusalem?
Jerusalem is because here is the place where the center of Torah. This is the center of the place for learning Torah in Jerusalem is better than any place in the world, as the pasuk says. Kim Tzion tetzei Torah dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. In Isaiah it says that the Torah will come from Yerushalayim. Here's the most purest and highest quality of learning and spirituality of any place in the world.
It's really beautiful. What's it like with the rest of the quarters, the Muslim, the Christian quarter? Do you have interactions with them? What do you feel like being with them?
I walk every day through Damascus Gate, and very rarely there's altercations. In the past, several times, but I feel safe in general.
Yeah.
And it's important that we don't, the Jews continue to walk and show presence in all parts of the old city and all sorts of the new city too.
What was your name?
Yoshua.
Yoshua. It's a good name. So thank you very much,
Thank you,
Yoshua.
Yoshua.
Hey, have a good day. Shabbat shalom.
I feel like Haredim never look me in the eye.
That's why I'm here.
You don't want to be nice.
I'll give you guys a pro tip. If you stand right there by this column and I stand right here and you zoom in, it's like I'm in the picture.
He's an ancient Judean.
Am I picking her nose?
Almost there.
No, almost. I got it now. Jerusalem is a place where it's important to have fun. So this beautiful mural here was painted by a French company called City Création in the year 2000. And they have 6 of them all around Jerusalem. Kind of gives us an idea of what the hustle and bustle was like back in the day. What's interesting about this painting is it actually depicts different kind of societies as well. It's kind of a game. But over here, as we can see more European-looking figures, who's the mayor of Jerusalem, Teddy Kollak. And
Hi, Mayor.
well, he was. And we can see, you know, a Persian kind of style, Arabian style, and over here, down here, we can even see a little twist of America, you know, the backwards baseball cap. And something which doesn't fit in is this plastic bottle. They wouldn't have that 2,000 years ago. But we are standing right now inside of the Capitolina Cardo. So a Cardo which dates back 1,800 years, 1,750 years to the times of Hadrian. Now, in the year 132 to 135, we had the Bar Kokhba revolt. At the year 135, the revolt gets suppressed. Jews are then banned from Jerusalem. They can't come back here. And Hadrian builds this city as a new and reestablishes it as a Roman city called Aelia Capitolina instead of it being called Jerusalem. So that's when the first time we have from Yerushalayim changes to this Aelia Capitolina, which was a huge insult to the Jews at the time because Capitolina is the Jupiter god. He also changes the region from Judea to Syria Prima Palestina. And he does that, many scholars say, to spite the Jews of an old enemy we had, which were the Philistines, about 700 years prior to that. Okay, so we're gonna surprise Oriel here.
Okay.
Tell us about this place.
I don't know anything about this place. All I know is that the market, or basically the main street of the city, would go in the middle, the fun.
Yeah.
And then they would have all of their shops on the side, and that's
Yeah.
what I know. You put me on the spot. That's
So
horrible.
it's really great, the Cardo, which is the middle.
I'm not a tour guide.
Jerusalem's definitely a
You
spontaneous
can see it,
place.
right? Nahon, that's the middle. That's
Yeah.
the street.
That's the Cardo, like the Cardo Vascular. So this is the oldest map we have of Jerusalem. It's important to say it's a replica. The real one was found in Medba, which is in Jordan, or from the 5th century, on a church's floor over there. And it was a mosaic, the oldest map we have of Jerusalem. Now, if you notice, this is Jerusalem during the Byzantine era, where the Temple Mount, which we know today has great significance to Judaism, is not shown on this map because it didn't have significance in Christianity during that period of time. Now, we have the one gate here, which we're going to go up to soon, which was called Bab al-Amud, which is in Arabic. Bab is the door, al is of, Amud, the pole. So the pole over here, which was assumed to have a bust on top, which is like sort of a carving of the Caesar's head here at the top. The main Cardo, which we're standing in right now, comes here. You can see this massive building in the middle, which really dominates a lot of the Jerusalem, would have been the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, because that would have had the most significance for all pilgrims coming to Jerusalem at that time. Going towards the Temple Mount over there, you can even see the gate over there leading to the Temple Mount, but we don't see the Temple Mount is here. So we have one church, two churches, three churches, and this is the holy city of Jerusalem.
So you can either go up and see the Cardo from above, or you can go from below. And there's stairs on both sides.
And we're going to go from below.
We're going to go from below. Whoa. I can tell you're a person with energy, that you just have these bursts that you have to like let out somewhere.
I have to sometimes. You have to. So we're going to walk on the original roads of Aelia Capitolina, just because we can. If we look at the stones over here, just to sort of integrate what Jerusalem would have looked like 2,000 years ago, the times of the Second Temple, or the times where Jesus was around here, he would have seen stones on a street similar to as we're looking at right now. Now, however nice it looks, it's actually not incredibly practical, because this is limestone. And when it gets cold and rainy, very, very slippery. So they had to walk carefully coming down the road.
That's your imitation of carefully.
Here we could just see some of the remainders of the columns. Typical architecture, like it's skinny at the bottom, fat in the middle, and skinny back on the top. It's a very classic Roman style for a column. At the top we have the Corinthian capitals, which is a classic Roman architecture. Now these are relatively basic, made out of limestone, but if we look at the Temple Mount during the times of the Roman period when Herod was here, there were marble Corinthian capitals similar to this, covered in gold, and that was the significance and the holiness actually brought to Jerusalem. But we are off tracking at the moment, and let's get back to the people.
So guys, we've been here before. We're in the
Jewish quarter,
what's it called again?
Hulva Synagogue.
Hulva Synagogue. Is behind us.
Actually, standing here in this square is a fulfillment of one of the prophecies of Zechariah, where he says that, the kids are going to start running in the streets and the old men are going to sit on the sides and watch the kids running in the streets. So that's definitely becoming true inside of the Jewish quarter where we are now. We can see hustling and bustling Jewish life. On a typical year during this period, you wouldn't be able to even see the floor. There's so many people flocking to this region. Now, The holiest place in the world for Jewish people is the Temple Mount. Today, we have minimal access to that for all kinds of reasons. So the center of Jewish life in the Old City is where we're standing now, the Hall synagogue. Now behind us, you can see the symbol of Judaism is the menorah, the golden menorah, 43 kilos, real gold on it, and which is really beautiful. And that is really part of a hope of return. A hope of return to the glory of what we had once in Jerusalem as a Jewish city. It's worth about $2 million, $2 to $3 million.
Hence it's encased.
Encased with bulletproof glass. If you do get it out, nobody will be too worried, just impressed.
Just like drag it behind you.
שמולי, דודו, ספר לנו דודו, איך זה לחיות בעיר העתיקה?
וואו, בעיר העתיקה, תשמע, כל אבן שאתה הולך פה, האבות אבותינו דרכו פה, אברהם, יצחק, יעקב, כל אלה שעלו לרגל לירושלים, דמיין את זה. דמיין כמה קדושה יש במקום הזה, וכמה המקום הזה הוא כל כך מיסטי, אנשים לא מבינים. ויש לך פה אנשים מכל המגוונים, מכל הסוגים, חילונים, דתיים, הכל, נוצרים, מוסלמים. כל העולם נמשך לירושלים. אתה מרגיש את זה כאילו עוד שנייה ברור העולם גואל אותנו. ובאמצע כל הבלגן הזה יש לך את הכותל. אנחנו מחכים בית המקדש שירד מהשמיים, וזה מה שנותן לנו כוחות. חייב לבוא לפה ולחוש את האווירה, את ההרגשה. אז אני מזמין את כולם שיבואו וייהנו ממה שאני נהנה כבר הרבה מאוד שנים.
תודה רבה דודו, וגם לאכול את השווארמה פה.
והשווארמה חצר ברובע, השווארמה...
אני פה הרבה, ברוך השם. וזה השווארמה הטוב ביותר שיש פה בירושלים, מלא שומן, מלא בשר. אחרי ביס אחד אפשר להרגיש את הקדושה של ירושלים קצת יותר. תודה רבה דודו, שבת שלום. If we're talking a little bit about how the people of Jerusalem live, classically, this is what I call a classic courtyard of Jerusalem. So it's really, really gorgeous, kind of a hidden spot we have here. And you can see there's entrances to houses all around. And when we walk on the outside, we're just going to see a wall. This was done in a way to protect the community and a way for security, but also in a way to create a space for the kids to play, which isn't on the streets itself. So you have the houses on the outside and the doors facing on the inside where the kids would come and play.
Guys, it's a bit like nachlot. I showed you guys that in nachlot it's very, very it's very crammed.
Crammed, yeah.
And so you have, courtyard's much smaller than this, but still nachlot is beautiful. You can see it's designed, how pretty.
It's beautiful design. And we're not going to go up this time, but you might need to take a step back.
Oh. There's the energy that's coming out. Energy, I don't know what that is.
It says שתייה קרה חינם, free cold water. You can come here in Jerusalem, in the Jewish quarter, and they offer anyone who wants to come. And there's a beautiful line here that says שהכל נהיה בדברו, and everything should be בדברו, in his name, or in his spirit. And when you drink, the blessing is to commemorate the water to be bidvoro. In his word, I guess, is the right explanation.
I've never seen that.
Anyone's free to come drink, and as we have it in the Jewish quarter, people are giving because it is a place of religion. We're also going to see this in the Muslim quarter with lines of the Quran there, which explains that a place for free water to give. Now this is kind of a game played. Now on a practical level, Oriel, do be careful because we spoke about the limestone before. It's all wet now, so it's going to be slippery.
So I have to mind my step.
Mind your step. And this is just the perfect shot of Jerusalem, right here.
Okay guys, but seriously, do be careful because it's literally just like a stream of water because they're cleaning.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna walk slowly.
Here we're on David Street, right? So King David Street comes from the east to the west of Jerusalem. And historically, when this was a Roman city, this would be known as the Decromanos. So we had the Cardo going from north to south, east to west, Decromanos. This road was an incredibly significant road because it leads straight up to the Temple Mount, the holiest place in the world for the Jews and the third holiest place in the world for Muslims. Now, when different nations, they come here and they build, they understand the importance. And if we look behind us over here, we can see some classic Mamluk architecture from about 700 years ago. And just to look at the architecture a little bit, to kind of see what these people are. This is called ablak, which is the white, the red, the white, the red. You can see the crown at the top. And when you see two seats at the entrance of a building, this was used as a welcoming or a place to sit down. So it's a public service building, like a library or an orphanage or a high school or a community center. They would have these classic seats at the front to show that you're welcome to come and sit down. So we're on the chain road or the chain bridge on our way to the Temple Mount right now. And because we're Jewish, I'm Jewish, we won't be able to enter the Temple Mount exactly.
Not from here.
Well, not from here. We could enter 5 days a week for specific hours as tourists. Only one of the gates. The Temple Mount has 10 gates, and this gate we can't enter on Friday. As we mentioned before, Friday is a holy day for the Muslims, so they have more significance to today than other days. But just to understand a little bit of the security here, of how the Muslims and the Jews somewhat live together, very close to each other, and the different feelings and situations we had. But we turn one corner and we see people are dressed differently, people are covering their hair. We have these carpets called sajada here, which are the prayer carpets which people pray on. The misbah, the little beads that people are flicking, the smells are different, so on and so forth. And we're going to be stopped before we can even go on. This is as far as we can go because of a status quo, which is something we're not going to get into. So here we can see that classic Mamluk architecture. So 800 years ago, the Mamluks come here from their capital, which was inside of Cairo, and they understand the significance and the importance of this place, and they raise the whole city on platforms. They recreate entrances to actually have glorious entrances to come into Jerusalem. And these are of all the entrances to the Temple Mount. So you can also see the columns here, the Corinthian capitals, these swirling columns here at the top, which are really, really beautiful. The classic dome feature, and if you look behind you, over here, we have something called a sabil. Now, this sabil actually dates a little bit past the Mamluk era. Dates to the Ottoman era of the guy Suleiman the Magnificent in this marble Arabic calligraphy here, which is actually written in Turkish during the Ottoman Empire. It says, I am Suleiman in the year 1538 or 1541, who is the protector of the holy places in Jerusalem, the old city, and those who come to pray who are Muslim can come and drink water, and so this water would have been given to Muslims. This tap I think is new, I haven't seen it before, so let's try turn it on. And it works, so you can come, you can drink water. You've got to be wary about this because this was actually a sarcophagus, which was used for the rotting of dead people's bones. If we look on this side, we can see some of the remainders which date back to the times of the Second Temple. These steps coming down as part of the original old city from 2,000 years ago, and some of these columns might have been used in the Second Temple.
Just to tell you guys the feeling that I have walking the old city, full disclosure, I did not always like the old city up until fairly recently, just because it was like tzafuf and like hot and just people and like wasn't like my favorite place. Everyone's like, let's go to the old city. I'm like, Lama, bishvil. But when you go with people like Levi that actually like know where you're going and what you're seeing, I think it really changes things. It's almost like it becomes like a person, and then you like know the person and love the person. That's how I see the old city. Like, it's a person I got to know or something like that. Maybe that sounds funny, but it's the way I look at it.
If you're going to take one thing out of our tour today, you learned maybe something new, you felt a new experience, what would it be?
I actually took example the most from your fearlessness. It's like you go with people to the old city, and like usually it's like you're going to one place and you're going there, but you have a curiosity and a courage and a bravery to go anywhere. And I learned from that because I wish that I had more of that. And so for me, I think that there is no fear in God. Like, that's the way I see things. And so I think that when you overcome fear with curiosity or love or the benefit of someone else, then it leads you to see beautiful places or beautiful people that you wouldn't have met. And so I don't know so much if I took like from the old city, but more from the people in it.
Would you ever live in the old city?
I've thought about it. It would have to be like God telling me like live in the old city specifically, but he's never done that. He's told me to live in Nachlaot. That was very specific back then. I told you guys that. Maybe, but I think it's a bit too spiritually intense for me. I think that I would have way too many dreams at night. That's what happens, but yeah.
If you can take sort of this beacon of spirituality that we have here, and if this is like the source of it, do you feel like that could drive you, or that could help you do things in life?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think for me at least, it accompanies everything that I do. I try to, you guys know I'm a Messianic believer. It's okay if you're not of the same religion. I hope that you've stuck around. But I feel like what we call in Messianic Judaism the fruit of the Spirit, which is basically I see it as the character of God. And so I want that to guide what I do within my spirituality, that it's not just the spirit without the heart, and it's not just the heart without the spirit, but it's a combination of both. So I hope that people feel that through my actions, but yeah, it's in everything that we do. We bring that everywhere with us, I think. Guys, I've enjoyed this day with Mr. Levi. I'm going to put his website and his Instagram and anything else related to Levi in the description and also here on the screen. And hopefully we'll do this again. Yeah. I hope, because I had so much fun. And if you guys are not of the same faith, I appreciate you sticking around, because this channel is about showing everything and everyone, right? We're different as people. The people that we met today are different from each other, and that's what's beautiful.
We're not exactly of the same aligned faith, yet we can get along, and we can see the city as it is. It'd also be my privilege to show any of you the beauty of Jerusalem from an unbiased perspective. We could have a section to talk about the political part, but really the beauty and the light here, it doesn't have to get intertwined with that. So please come, explore Jerusalem.
If I had fun today, you will have fun with Levi. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.